Yeah, man. Okay, so I'm on my MacBook and haven't really done this before, but I'm kind of at one of those critical moments where things are happening, and so I'm not able to make a video on my phone. The thing is, I cleared my phone off yesterday. Right now, I'm uploading a video on my Android. All right, and so I'll just explain everything that happened and then talk about what we need to be doing and how stupid this is. Okay. I lay down on the bed. I was going to take a little nap, and they started getting all over me with broadcast. So I had broadcast all up and down my leg, and I was like, let me take a quick picture. So I did. I took a picture, and with that picture, I went into Snapseed. I just did a little edit, and you could see broadcast like all over me with the edit. So, um, I started zooming in and doing screenshots and stuff like that and showing like, hey, look at this, look at this. And the video that's uploading on the Android is going to show some of that. So the thing was, I went to YouTube, and you know how I do. I go on YouTube on the communities tab and post pictures and say, hey, look at these gang stalkers all over me. Well, one of the guys on my channel, he says, nope, I ain't letting you have those, right? So I'm like, okay. So when I go to upload on YouTube, they're not coming up. The pictures aren't coming up in my gallery. And then I get this weird message that says like, well, no, not at that point. It was just the pictures aren't coming up. Okay. They're stealing my pictures and removing them wherever they're saving to. They're saving to some allocated space on this virtual machine that they have hosted on my device. And it's a bunch of gang stalkers acting really stupid now. And again, they're all part of this gang from the Atlanta area, this terrorist organization led by Robert Lackey, Tony Bruce, Black James, and the Matheny group is a big part of this. And then the larger group. Okay, there's a bunch of gang stalkers on my neural monitoring all the time and on my devices. I'm 1,000 miles away from them right now, and I've been 1,000 miles away from them for weeks. Before I was here, wherever I'm at now, which I'm not going to say, but before I was here, I was all the way in Washington, like 3,000 something miles away. Um, it's no different. If anything, it's worse. They still have the exact same capabilities and the confidence to know that I'm nowhere around to be able to do anything. If I can't go to the police, I couldn't defend myself. I can't do anything. So as these screenshots aren't showing up in my gallery, I'm like, all right, so that's pretty evident. So I go and start a screen recording. And in the screen recording, I'm showing all the things that I wanted to screenshot. And I'm also doing screenshots and showing that the screenshots aren't showing up in my gallery, as well as showing that screenshots do typically show up in my gallery. All right. So then this weird message pops up that says, after the screen recording, that says this video can't be saved because the asset uh, the asset save locale or something like that. It shows it on the video I've uploaded now. It shows that message. It's not a message I've ever seen before. It's not something saying my storage is full. It's something saying that the place where they're supposed to be saved has been changed, is what it's saying. And so I showed that on the video, that the screen recordings are also not showing up. And then so after I got the Android out, my second phone, and I started making the actual video of the iPhone acting bizarre on an actual video, then suddenly my screenshots start showing up again. Not the ones they already stole, not the screen recordings they already stole. And by the way, I made a video yesterday or so talking about how they're altering my files and stealing my files. And because what happened the day before, I made a screen recording and it was showing a bunch of stuff and saying a bunch of stuff they don't want out there like that. So when it popped up in my gallery, it popped up as already edited, and most of it was gone, and there was like a little piece of it left, less than half. But I posted that anyway, and then some other screen recordings I was doing, they were making the volume not work. And so I was posting evidence that those things are happening, and I talked about it or I was posting a video. I talked about how those things are happening, and you could see in my channel those videos got uploaded, and they're like half videos and videos with no sound, and I left them up because of that. So what they do is they access my phone, and they have complete control over my phone. They are hosting like a virtual machine, a complete separate like software setup on my hardware iPhone, and giving it administrative authority over me. And if I get a file they don't like, they'll be like, nope, and they'll just move it or steal it, just take it away from me. And anything that I get that's showing like broadcast really clear or something like that, they'll just take it away from me. And this is a problem that me and all of you guys have been dealing with for many years, is that it's so hard to get evidence. And if you do get evidence, they'll just steal it from you. And now I'm in a situation where they're saying, oh, we're going to brick your device. We're going to brick your device. And this is what's happened in the past. When I start to get evidence that looks a little bit too, too solid, like if it actually shows something that's going on and they don't like it, they'll just brick the phone. Like, I mean, turn it off and it won't turn back on, or blink into a blue screen and won't ever upload anything again. And I've got a pile of devices at my house that won't work anymore because these gang stalkers destroy my property remotely. If I get evidence that they think is too sufficient against them, they'll just steal it. And if they don't like how I'm combating that, whatever they're doing, they'll just destroy my property, and then problem solved. No more phone. Go buy a new phone, Kevin. And that's typically what they've been doing for a decade now, and it's something that all of us deal with, and it's one of the big reasons why it's so difficult to obtain, and then or to get it in the first place, and then to hold on to it. Okay, you might be able to get evidence against them and show that they're doing stuff in your phone or some kind of some evidence, but then they'll just take that away from you. And so it's a huge problem. Now, moving forward, what are we going to do about this? I've witnessed firsthand people making the transition, becoming somebody that was a normal person to becoming somebody that had access to neural monitoring. And one of the first things that they did that seemed so important to them, I'll tell you a list of them. One, they had to have a jailbroke iPhone. They had to jailbreak their iDevices. So that's going to be my first priority starting now, is to work on jailbreaking my iPhone. Luckily it's an older iPhone, so it should be something that's possible. When you have the brand new iPhone 14 or whatever, it's going to be more difficult because they haven't worked it out yet. But when you have an older one, they can work it out, and you can jailbreak your iPhone. So it's a process, and it's not something that's easy, but it's something that they do, that they seem to think is necessary. And I believe that it's something that I can do, that I can keep them off of my device, or find out what they're doing on my devices. Another one is Android developer. The person that I watched go through this transition, they had, first off, they had the jailbroke iDevices, and then secondly, they started to do a lot of stuff with Android developer and having a virtual Android on their iPads, iPhones, iDevices. And they had a hosting package, something they could log into, where they could host this virtual Android and log into it on the iDevices, or maybe they could host it on the devices. In my case, I believe they actually have virtual machines hosted on my physical devices and have given themselves administrative control. And like I said, I cleared my phone off 2 days ago, and it's full again. And that's not typical. Typically, if I'm using it a lot, doing a lot of videos and stuff, maybe in a week. A lot of times it takes like a month. Okay, 2 days ago, I cleared it off, and today it's saying it's full again. And the reason is because they don't want me to have the space to be making videos and doing all this stuff. So I'm just trying to do all my devices. It's concerning because I need my devices, especially when I'm traveling around places and stuff, and I need my phone. I need my backup phone. I need my laptop. I'm in school. I'm in college for computer programming. I need all of my stuff. And so when they start getting mad about me getting evidence of stuff, they're doing physical attacks on me. physical attacks with broadcast. So when they start getting mad that I'm getting evidence and talking about that stuff, and they start threatening to brick my devices, well, they've done it many a times before, so it's a huge concern for me. I don't have a couple $1,000s to go buy a new MacBook and a new iPhone. I mean, if I do have a couple $1,000s, I don't have it for that. Okay. So when they start talking about bricking my devices because they're upset with me posting evidence and talking about stuff, it's bad enough they're stealing my files and controlling my devices. But then they get mad and angry and start talking about bricking them because they don't like me putting out all of this information. So that's where we're at now. First priority is to try to jailbreak my iPhone. And then I'm going to see about, I don't think for me, having a virtual Android on my iPhone is so important because I don't have neural monitoring to hide on it, to have to host it somewhere off my device or whatever. I don't have that situation, but the situation I do have is that they're on my devices with like virtual machines and stuff. So if I learn how to do that, then I can also know how they're doing it to me. So you see what I'm saying? So it's not like I need a virtual Android, but I need to know how it works and how they got them on my device, or if it's a virtual Android or virtual whatever, how they have a remote control over my device. They stall my uploads. They steal yesterday they turned off my service, okay? And I mean completely shut it down. It said SOS only. And this is right in the same area where my service has been working fine for weeks and weeks. And so, I had to pull up on some free Wi-Fi just to get on a map and figure out where I was because I'm not from here. So I had to do that, and it was like this crazy situation. So then I got somewhere where I was trying to go, and I was talking to somebody there that I know, and they also had my same cellular network provider service. And I was like, is your phone messing up? They're like, no, it's working fine. They're sitting there on YouTube and everything else, and mine saying SOS only, And these gang stalkers did that. They did that. They went in and completely disabled my service, and whether so they could steal it and use it themselves, or whether they were just trying to make sure that I couldn't use it. But it's the suppression tactics and the theft of services, the theft of my files, the account fraud, and the illegal access remotely of my devices is getting crazy again. It's been like this in the past before, but then there's times when they kind of back off. I'm going to make the biggest fuss about it. I don't want to have to afford to buy new devices because who wants to live under that kind of thing? Don't do anything on your device that we don't like, or we'll just destroy it. Don't try to do anything that gets in our way, or we'll just steal your whole service so we can use it. I pay for it. I pay for the service. I pay for the devices. This is all my stuff. It's my property. And this gang stalking group out of Atlanta, 1,000 miles from me, is doing whatever they want with it. And it gets old. It gets really old. So right now, in the last hour, I've started uploading this video on my Android, my actual Android, my Galaxy phone. And my iPhone is saying that the storage is full. So I'm going to remove everything off of it again. When I move everything off of it, I move all my stuff off of it, and it still shows like 50 gigs on there, right? And the iOS should be like 5. So it's a lot of gang stalkers. And when you see these videos that I'm putting out lately, you can see when I'm showing the broadcast, you can see not 1 or 2 faces. There's like 4 or 5 guys that talk out loud with artificial broadcast telepathy on my channel. But in reality, the ones connected to me and attacking me with broadcasts is probably more in the range of 10 to 20, if not more than that. I would say at least 10, maybe 20. And they are definitely all part of this group that supposedly led by Robert Lackey, Tony Bruce, and Black James, and the Matheneys. So that's really what's going on. That's where I'm at now. So I'm going to take my time and clear this device off again, and probably still have 50 gigs of stuff on it that I don't know what it is, and I can't get to because it's not jailbroken, and they have every advantage over me. I'm tired of them controlling my device. I'm tired of them physically attacking my body with broadcasts, and I'm tired of them trying to bully me around because they can do whatever they want to. So I'm going to continue to learn more and more, and I'm going to tell you guys everything that I learned. But this video, if you see it before you see the Next one that's uploading from my Android. I didn't get the screen recording. They stole that. They stole the screen recording that I made on my iPhone, but it's just a huge problem. Like I can't even retain a file that I would call evidence because they're like, nope, you ain't having it. And they literally say, nope, you ain't having that. And I just see my galleries not showing the things that I know that I could do a screenshot. It just won't even show up. And that's the kind of thing. And then if I start doing something to prove it, like get another phone, another camera, and like doing cameras of cameras and all this ridiculous bullshit, then all of a sudden it's working again, right? It's simple as a switch they can flip. They could just run a code or not. And that's it. And I'm tired of it. And I understand how computer systems work. Okay. Maybe I'm not a coder. And the hardest part is getting into the stuff. I mean, getting access into the scripts of the operating systems and, you know, where these virtual machines and like, because everything's exploited at this point. They do whatever they want to. That's why I turn on my MacBook and the console log runs 500,000 messages in 2 minutes. And that's not normal. It's not typical. These gang stalkers are running all kinds of stuff. And they're doing EMF broadcast live streams of remote neural monitoring. That's video without a camera from broadcast from each one of them. And whether it be what I'm seeing or them seeing from their broadcast or whatever, they're putting that out online as like a show. And that's what they do. That's how they live. They love to be on mind control, putting out these EMF broadcast video streams. And that's what they do. They do it over your device and over your services. So if you have an iPhone and you can fathom possibly jailbreaking it, I've seen that people transitioning into gang stalkers make that a priority first. That's one of their first priorities is getting on a jailbroken device. Then they start worrying about DNS settings. They start worrying about localhost stuff. And they start worrying about developer stuff, Android, Apple, Google. And they start worrying about virtual machines. And these are the hot topics if you're trying to become a gang stalker. So if you're trying to prevent a gang stalker from doing a bunch of stuff to you, that's where you have to start. All right, so that's what's going on right now. It's starting to be a big headache every day with them attacking my devices and doing whatever they want to. So I'm going to prioritize more of my resources towards solving that, period. And you should too. Thanks for watching.